Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. Cheers. A little bit of hot chocolate there. So, it is December and we're running a little bit late for doing these videos. Real world has got in the way. But starting Sunday, we have entered Grotmas, which is Games Workshop's fun little previews through December. Normally they do just that, like a little preview, a little teaser each day. But this year, we are getting a detachment a day, one for each of the armies in Warhammer 40k. So we're going to take a look at these particular ones. They will be separate vids, and we'll see how we keep up with the schedule. The 1st of December was the Flyblown host for Death Guard. And initial thoughts is really pleased with this one. It's nice and thematic. I don't know how good it would be on a competitive angle, but it's thematic to what Death Guard are usually portrayed in the lore as, which is they are a foot-slogging, ground-pounding army that doesn't really use transports. You know, it's just a load of warriors marching forwards, zombie-like, and gunning down the opponents, you know, and surviving everything that comes back at them. And this particular detachment does this really, really well. The detachment rule is called Verminous Haze. They are basically surrounded by flies, the enemy can't see them, and it gives your Death Guard infantry that are not embarked in a transport a 5-up scout move at the beginning of the game and stealth. This is really good. I'm not so sure about the scout thing. Maybe it's just a case of going, well, if you're walking everywhere, this is how we get you a little bit further up the table towards an objective or some such. But stealth is really, really good. There's this huge cloud of flies and your opponent really can't see properly through them. I quite like that. They're a tough army anyway, and that can be quite strong, but I think it's very flavourful. No complaints. You've got 4 enhancements as usual. And I think these range from okay to my word, this could be really, really silly. We'll go through them in order. First up, you have Droning Chorus for 15 points, Death Guard infantry only, ranged weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit have the assault ability. So one unit can basically charge down the table, or advance I should say, and still shoot. It's one unit though. Handy dandy if you've got it with the right unit, I suppose, but I think that's one of those, yeah, it's all right. If I've got 15 points spare, I'd take it. But I don't think it's one that you would try and build a character around specifically. Next up, we have Insectile Murmuration. That's a bit of a mouthful. 20 points. Again, it's Death Guard infantry only. And each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack that targets a unit that is within contagion range of one or more Death Guard units from your army, you get to re-roll wound rolls of 1 against them. So that's quite nice. It's 20 points, but, you know, I think that's quite nice. Rejuvenating Swarm at 10 points. Why this is 10 points, I don't know, really. Someone explain. So, again, Death Guard infantry model. So you're not sticking this on Demon Princes or anything like that, because they're not infantry, they're monsters. But at the end of each phase, the bearer regains all lost wounds. Your character becomes a Beast of Nurgle. This should be more than 10 points. Sorry, G-Dub. I really detest Beasts of Nurgle whenever I play them on the table. They're not fun to play against. And you could stick this on something like a character in Terminator armor, and suddenly they're already going from being quite difficult to deal with to basically just healing constantly. Really good if you're only going to take one character to prevent the assassinate from being quite so useful. But I think that needs to be more than 10 points. Otherwise, you know, that's my one I think is slightly too good. And then you have Plague Veil for 25 points. Again, Death Guard infantry model only. While the bearer's unit is within range of 1 or more objective markers you control, that unit can only be selected as a target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 18 inches. I like this one. 25 points seems a little high because bearing in mind you're already getting stealth from the detachment rule. But I like that one. That's quite handy. If you don't have a character that's particularly wanting to push up the table, say something like a Death Guard Sorcerer type character, that could be really handy dandy. And again, it's preventing anyone from sniping them off too easily. Then we hit the stratagems. So we'll just sort of go through these. Nauseating paroxysms for 1 CP. Start the fight phase. 1 Death Guard infantry unit that is within engagement range of 1 or enemy units. Select one of those enemy units and they must make a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result. That's quite nice. Basically, as it's in the fight phase, it's basically preventing them from using stratagems. But, you know, that's, I think, is the primary thing for it. But, okay, it's there. Can't grumbles. Vermin Cloud, again, 1 CP. I think they're all 1 CP in this detachment. In the fight phase, 1 Death Guard infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. At the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a pile-in and consolidation, it moves up to 6 instead of 3. That, I think, is really, really good. That, again, is allowing you to creep up the table slightly and grab hold of objectives and the like. Eye of the Swarm. In your shooting phase, you select a Death Guard infantry unit that has not been selected to shoot. And until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit, excluding blast, have the pistol ability. So if you've got those Plague Marines with the plasma guns, they can shoot them in melee. I like this. I think it's quite. It gives the infantry guys a little bit of a boost. 1 CP, not bad. Droning Horror. In your shooting phase, 1 Death Guard infantry unit that has not been selected to shoot till the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack, re-roll the hit roll of 1. If that attack targets a unit within half range, you can re-roll the hit roll instead. Again, that's quite handy. Not amazing, but handy. Then you have I've got to get this right. Enervating Onslaught. I'm sure they just try and put awkward words together when they name these things. In your charge phase, just after a Death Guard infantry unit makes a charge move, you select 1 enemy unit with engagement range of your unit, excluding monsters and vehicles. You roll a d6 for each model in your unit that is within engagement range of that unit, adding 1 if it is not a cultist or poxwalker, and for each 5+ selected enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. Again, I like this. It's basically giving your infantry unit a kind of tank shock. Boom. I like that. I think that's quite cool. They run in and suddenly they start and dying horribly. Nice. And lastly, Mephitic Invigoration. In your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, 1 Death Guard infantry unit from your army that is within 6 inches of 1 or more friendly Mephitic Blight Hauler units, and that was selected as a target of 1 or more of the attacking units. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, if the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than the toughness of that unit, they get -1 to the wound roll. You know, I'm sure they could fix the wording on this slightly. You know, word count not needed. Okay. That is your detachment. It's, as I say, Flyblown Host is very much one for infantry. Nothing stops you taking anything else. You can still take your support options. You're not going to see. Well, you might do. People will take what they want, but I think you would not see things like Demon Princes or Mortarion in a list like this. This is one that's really going to be based around Plague Marines and Terminators with a little bit of support from something else, such as the aforementioned Mephitic Blight Haulers. But it's very much, this is going to be squads of infantry moving up the table, being hard to hit and pouring a lot of hurt back. I like it. I don't think it's one of the concerns I think a lot of people had, myself included, was either these detachments were going to be too good or they were going to be too weak. This one I think is about right. I do have a couple of Death Guard players locally, and I'm looking forward to trying this out at some point to see really how it works. But I quite like it. It was a good start for Grotmas. What are your thoughts on this one? I've yet to hear anything bad come back from the interwebs about this particular detachment. Everyone, Death Guard players seem to like it, even though I have seen some people go that prefer the ones in, they prefer what they've got with the picking a disease to inflict upon an opponent. But I also see a lot of positivity for this one. So you'll have to let me know your thoughts. And I'll see you in the next video where we're going to take a look at the Dark Angels new detachment, and we'll see what we think of that one. Anyway, let me know your comments and your thoughts down below. Give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon in the comments and in the next video. Take care, guys. Good gaming.